They said a mother's love is patient, forgiving, and endless. But no one ever warned that love could also break a heart beyond repair. In this beautiful story you will discover how much a mother can endure, care, understand, and love at the same time. Her name was Mama Chica, a widow who knew poverty like a friend. When her husband died, the world didn't just take her joy, it took her peace. All she had left was her only son, Chica, a boy with dreams as tall as the sky. From the day he was born, she vowed, even if I have to starve, my child will eat. And she meant it. She washed clothes for neighbors, fetched water for construction sites, and even hawked under the scorching sun just to buy him books and pay his school fees. People laughed. "You're killing yourself for a boy who might forget you tomorrow," they'd say. She'd smile through her tears and whisper, "He's my only hope. If he succeeds, I succeed." Years passed, and Chica became everything she dreamed of: intelligent, handsome, ambitious. He got a scholarship to the city, and Mama Chica sold her last piece of land just to get him started. Before he left, she held his hands tightly and said, "Don't forget me, my son. Wherever you go, remember who prayed for you there." And he promised, "Mama, I will never forget you." Life in the city smiled on Chica. He graduated, got a job, and before long became a man of means. Money came. Power followed. And so did Ngozi, a beautiful woman from a wealthy family, elegant, proud, and ambitious like him. When Chica brought Ngozi home to meet his mother, the woman barely greeted her before wrinkling her nose at Mama Chica's compound. "So this is where you grew up?" she whispered to him, almost disgusted. Mama Chica heard it and her heart sank, but she said nothing. After all, her son was happy, and that was enough. They got married. At first, Chica tried to balance both worlds, the city wife and the village mother. He'd send money once in a while, call her occasionally, and promise to come home soon. But Ngozi didn't like that bond. She'd say things like, "Your mother is too clingy. You're a man now. You don't owe her your life." Slowly, Chica began to agree. He stopped visiting as often, stopped picking his mother's calls. One day, Mama Chica decided to surprise him. She packed her old bag, wore her best wrapper, and traveled all the way to the city to see her son. But when she arrived, everything changed. Ngozi opened the door, her face cold as ice. "Who are you?" she asked. "I'm his mother," Mama Chica said, smiling warmly. "I just came to see my son." Ngozi looked her up and down, disgusted. "You came uninvited. My husband is busy. We don't have space for villagers here." Before Mama Chica could speak, Ngozi shouted for the security man. "Escort this woman out before my husband sees her embarrassment." As she was being dragged away, Chica came down the stairs, his face tight. "Mama, what are you doing here?" "I came to see you, my son," she said, trembling. "It's been long. Missed you." But he wouldn't meet her eyes. "You should have called first. You can't just show up. My wife isn't comfortable." Those words stabbed deeper than a knife. She turned to leave, tears streaming down her face, whispering, "I carried you in my womb, and now I need permission to see you." That night, she slept outside a church, broken, heart aching, but her lips still prayed for him. Months passed. Mama Chica fell ill. No one to care for her, no one to call. Her neighbors said the sickness came from too much sorrow. But life moved on in the city. Chica's business boomed. He and Ngozi built a mansion. He even changed his phone number just to avoid distractions. But pride doesn't last forever. One evening, Chica came home early and overheard a conversation that shattered everything. Ngozi was on the phone laughing softly. "Don't worry, baby," she said. "Once the deal is done, I'll move in with you." Chica is too blind to notice anything. He froze. His heart pounded. He listened longer enough to hear the betrayal unfold. The wife he abandoned his mother for had been seeing another man. When he confronted her, she laughed. "Did you think I married you for love? You needed a trophy, and I needed your money." With that, she packed her bags and left, leaving Chica's heart and empire in ruins. Within months, his business crashed. He lost everything. His house, his cars, his so-called friends. No one wanted to associate with a man whose name was now drowning in debt. Homeless and broken, Chica wandered the streets, the same streets where his mother once begged. Until one day, as he sat by a roadside, hungry and lost, a familiar voice called softly, "Chica." He looked up. It was Ada, a young woman from his village. "Where is Mama Chica? I haven't seen her in months," she asked. Chica froze. His throat tightened. "I don't know." Ada sighed deeply. "She was sick. The last I heard, some people from church took her to a small hospital outside town." Those words hit him like lightning. He ran barefoot, desperate, gasping for redemption. When he finally found her, she was lying weak on a hospital bed. Her body frail but her face peaceful. She smiled faintly as he entered. "My son, you came." He fell on his knees, sobbing. "Mama, I failed you. I let pride destroy me." She touched his face gently. A mother never stops forgiving. "I prayed God would bring you home not rich, but humble." Tears streamed down his face as he held her hand. "Please don't leave me again, Mama. I'll take care of you now." She smiled one last time, whispered, "Now I can rest," and closed her eyes forever. Chica buried his mother beside their old home. He spent nights there, talking to her grave, confessing every sin. Years later, he rebuilt the same broken house and turned it into a free shelter for abandoned mothers, Mama Chica's rest home. Whenever people asked him why, he'd say, "Because I once abandoned the woman who gave me everything. Now I'll spend the rest of my life honoring women like her." They say success means nothing if it costs you the one who prayed you into it. Chica learned too late, but maybe his story will save another child from repeating the same mistake. So if your mother still lives, call her today. Don't wait for regret to teach you love. Because when the world turns its back, a mother's heart is still the only home that will never close its door. The richest man is not the one with wealth, but the one whose mother still smiles when she hears his name. Do you want to enjoy more beautiful stories like this one? Like, comment, subscribe, and share. See you in my next one.